Sentiments of peace, my countrymen. It is an honor for me and an excellent opportunity to be speaking here today. In relevance for today's youth, I am Syllorah Angelic Arellano, serving as the Senate President of the Philippines since 2019. For the time being, I'm running for the presidency of the Philippines in the year 2022. And using my position, I would like to utilize my political influence to address a problem in our government. But first, I'd like to start by making myself familiar to all of you. Mandaluyong is where I was born. It is a vibrant city with malls and restaurants, a bustling city with activities most of the time. The place gave me a pleasant childhood I will forever treasure. I was waking up every day, and by seeing such bad news, what I witnessed made me realize something. Before, I told myself that I wanted to be a decent politician, a hero that people could rely on. Many warned me that politics is chaotic, but I still decided to pursue it as I am passionate about public service. I want to help my fellow countrymen, bring more development to this country, make a difference, and want what's best for us to have a safe and healthy environment. I want to be the president of our nation because I believe there are many difficulties or issues in the administration, social issues in society, and environmental issues that must be addressed promptly. I wish to serve our country because I believe that there are more things that may bring us together than divide us. And although elections tend to focus on differences, I'd want to concentrate on what we share. After all, there's the holy ground. But I believe we can all agree on something, and it is on this foundation that we must build. As president, I want to make our nation better without being dishonest in my acts or having anomalies compared to individuals who have held the job before me. It may seem unattainable, yet becoming president entails controlling and serving all of your people. Presidents take on additional responsibility, work longer hours, and are subject to demands and criticism. Despite this, our president have maintained their composure and persevered in the face of adversity for the benefit of the country and the people. Inequality still exists in our country and forever will never cease to exist. Our country, the Philippines, has the greatest percentage of economic and social inequality in Southeast Asia, according to the ASEAN Trade Union Council. This issue isn't only about personal riches. The widening imbalance between the Philippines' richest and poorest residents has an impact on land distribution, educational and occupational possibilities, and basic welfare services. The indigenous peoples, as in many other regions of the world, is frequently the one that suffers the most. The nearly 1.7 million Filipinos who belong to the country's 100 ethnic groups continue to be the most disadvantaged, with prejudice and a lack of opportunity posing severe challenges. What to do to address the problem? Simple. Better healthcare, social safety nets, and faster and broader economic development, particularly in agriculture, are crucial to eliminating inequality. The government should concentrate on increasing access to healthcare, education, and property ownership for the poorest household in the country. But the path to recovery in increased equality is lengthy, and that is the one of my aims to accelerate the recovery of sectors that are suffering due to inequality.
According to 2017 World Risk Assessment, the Philippines is the third most susceptible country to climate change. Climate change has a wide range of consequences in the Philippines, including annual GDP losses, changes in rainfall patterns and distributions, droughts, threats to biodiversity and food security, the rise of sea level, public health risks, and endangering vulnerable groups like women and indigenous people. And it is widely felt right now. The intense humidity, massive floods, low harvest in the agricultural sector, and likes. Although there are policies stipulated in the government, such as the Climate Change Act of 2009, to address the adversities, what is lacking is the pursuit of initiatives. And I am here to be the initiative of movements in stopping activities that produce too much carbon emissions. I will cease operations of companies that destroy the well-being of the environment and the people in it. I will form a council in each region that will observe the state of the environment and perform necessary measures if need be. The goal I want to achieve is to bring attention to and eliminate corruption's pervasiveness. The Corruption Perceptions Index, which evaluates nations and territories depending on how corrupt their public sector is considered to be, is a tool for trading economics. As a result, it is mostly dependent on who we select to lead. The rank of a nation or territory reveals how it compares to the other countries and territories in the index. Bribery, embezzlement, fraud, tax evasion, lack of transparency, insufficient enforcement of laws and government policies, and a constant lack of support for human rights are all examples of corruption here in our country. Just like the George Byron Radic states that corruption is an insidious plague that has a wide range of corrosive effects on societies. That evil phenomenon is found in all countries, big and small, rich and poor, but it is in the developing world that effects are most destructive. The idea here in the Philippines, it has been argued that corruption has metastasized from Malacanang Palace down the barangay government. In this view, our country has experienced total systematic affliction where practically all government offices and projects are prone to corruption. Thus, my own implication and action for this perennial problem in the government and the system itself is to do an intensive investigation among our leaders, and if they are proven to be guilty, they should be humiliated in public and live in bars for the rest of their lives. Our country has seen strife and bloodshed for the past 40 years, with much of it occurring in Mindanao's southern area. The search for permanent peace in Mindanao at its heart, as it has been for decades throughout the southern Philippines. The persistence of violent extremism in Mindanao raises the risk of young people becoming radicalized and joining illegal armed organizations. We all know that when we solve problems, we look at the roots for its impediment. And with that being said, in the problem, the vulnerability of the youth has become the attraction for anti-government forces and their agendas. Hence, as a counterfeit, I will initiate a project in Mindanao. Through empowering adolescents in the areas of peace building and nonviolent conflict change.
The project also aims to conduct capacity building and awareness raising measures such as trainer training and exchange conferences for youth and civil society projects. The initiative will also assist local governments and state actors by building their capacity to align local development goals and regional and national Philippine programs that concentrate on youth development and peace in Mindanao. The current state of our education, as we all know, is changing. As a result, I'd like to propose some educational reforms that could make it even better. Consider how much less we could limit the teacher's authority. The teacher's lesson plan almost always matches the DepEd's provided guide. If they're given some leeway in creating their lesson plan, there is a good chance that they will be able to teach with ease. Students can also tell if teachers enjoy what they're doing, and while most of you may disagree, many teachers are stagnant in the classroom. Stress among students is an ongoing issue. To reduce the amount of stress, I propose that we reduce the number of standardized tests required. Tests have been shown to significantly increase students' stress levels. Our children frequently pull all-nighters just to study for a test. which has significant impact on their mental health. Students' burden can theoretically be lessened by reducing the number of tests they must take. Education is a weapon that our children can use to combat any, and that will be the end of my campaign speech. I would like to thank all of you here who gave me the chance to speak for the country, to speak for all of you. I have laid down all the things that I would like to pursue when I'm elected as the president of this country, and I believe I can do more than what I presented to all of you on various aspects and issues. We have not seen the best of the Philippines yet, the best of the people. And to bring that out, I am more than glad to be the key component of greatness. Thank you once again, and please choose who you think would be the best fit in the position in this coming election. Be smarter than you have ever been. Vote for your sons and daughters. Vote for the country's future. Godspeed, everyone.